The following video is rated E for edgy. Sometimes you start to get sick of anime, with a seasonal lineup of bland, forgettable shows, and yet another isekai to throw onto the pile of garbage. But every now and then you find a show that reminds you why you trawl through all of that. Maybe it had a great soundtrack, nicely choreographed action, multiple best girls, or is just edgy and silly enough to be fun, while still being able to be taken seriously and get far too invested in. Or maybe it's all of those things and more. And it's called Symphogear, go watch it. What, don't act surprised, you saw the video title, you know exactly what this is about. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Devalk and will be taking a look at Magical Girl's Sight, a show whose entire design document consists of the word edge written several times in the most Blair Witch font that could be found. To aid us in this endeavour, I would like to introduce my latest invention, the edge quantifier. It will, using advanced mathematics, give us an edge equivalent quantification for the edge of a given instance. For example, SAO's Kirito.
The EQ of saying damn in front of your parents.
Overwatch's Reaper.
The EQ of self-harm jokes.
And the entire game Hatred.
What is important is what I'm going to do.
The EQ of telling an orphan of the Holocaust.
Shh, no, you can't say that. Shh. Well, let's not put this off any longer. We've got violent bullying, incestuous child abuse, throat slitting, powers that make the users bleed from their eyes, and a double murder preceded by attempted rape. And the edge quantifier has caught fire. The show starts with a flash forward to the final episode, depicting our two main heroines after some battle, and actually showing the death of the main antagonist if you look close enough, which is probably the closest this show is ever going to get to subtlety. We are then treated to a suitably edgy opening that culminates with our main girl shooting herself. Alright, for some, we still have the best part of 12 episodes to go. We start for real with our main girl, Aya, not quite having the guts to throw herself in front of a passing train, and then remarking that all she thinks about is dying. Well, that's the tone set. As we get to school, we start to find out why, as we meet some cartoonishly evil minor antagonists. The bullying continues with what I can only assume is mayonnaise, followed by the trio of evil getting bored of their daily torture. I guess that's what a daily routine will do for you. After school, Aya feeds a cat under a bridge, and yes, this is going where you think it will. Her home life is no better, being number 2 to her brother, Kaname Accelerator, who only achieves well in school due to tying up and beating his sister. It must be hard for his voice actor being typecast as someone who likes to beat small girls. Finally, the titular Magical Girl's Sight shows up and offers to send a magical stick to Aya, and the next day, after stepping over roadkill, her school locker contains a gun. Sadly not. Instead, she gets beaten up by the trio de Satania, who've also summoned their pet rape golem. This is finally enough for her to actually run away, but she quickly gets caught. One of the Os Migos dos Devils throws the cat's collar at her, implying implications. Finally, Aya pulls the gun and teleports the two in front of a moving train. You might think this newfound body count would herald the start of Aya growing as a character, but no, she just goes back to being bullied by the Dios dos Diablo. But before she can get murdered by Box Cutter, Yasamura turns up and stops time to save her, and slit her throat. Before transitioning into the ending, that's full of sperm for some reason. 11 episodes to go, we're gonna have to step up the pace a bit. It is revealed that the reason Yasamura saved Aya is because she wants help tracking down another magical girl that's been killing off magical stick users. She also explains that the powers they have are not unlimited, they drain the user's own life force. Apparently not that much, as she seems to have walked across town with time frozen just to flex, but whatever. Aya agrees to work with her, as Aya is a wet blanket of a character that will do whatever someone tells her to. It then takes all of a day before Aya is attacked by the killer, who uses a magical pen to stop the stop time, because that power is way too powerful, so they have to keep adding in reasons for it not to be usable as the series goes on. Watch, it will become a trend. The killer shows off a few more magical sticks, such as a camera that can change appearance, and literally just a taser. She then breaks out just a hammer Aya refuses to use her gun because where I might kill someone who's trying to literally murder me. But Yasamura verbally slaps and senses her, and she finally does. They then grab her from the time stop to interrogate her. And finally, our main threat is established. Well, kind of. The Tempest that will kill them all in early August. She then collapses in a coma for the next 4 episodes. Episode 3 introduces Nijimi, wielder of the magical pantsuit that forces everyone who hears her to obey her commands. She is also the head of a pet-themed idol group, and as such has a creepy obsessive stalker. Yatsumura's edgy backstory is then revealed as having her parents murdered in front of her. You just sleep now. Thanks to the plot convenience book of identities of other magical girls, they are able to learn the identity of Nijimi. So they kidnap her. To her credit, she takes it well and agrees to help, although it turns out her friend was killed by the magical hunter, and she's psychopathically set on revenge. Serena is then made a magical girl by the site admins. Episode 4 shows Serena's reasons for trying to mutilate Aya to be she was bad at school and didn't say thank you to her. Ah yes, I too beat and mutilate people who are slow readers, that seems reasonable. Yeah, no, not for like another 8 episodes, doll. She then collapses once she gets home to her torture dungeon. Accelerator walks around town calling people scum, and Nijimi quits her idol business to join the school. Aya then heads up to Yatsumura's place to find it empty besides her collapsed on the floor and the chained-up murderer of her parents. Serena then shows up to try and extract revenge for getting her throat slit, while Nijimi, after being tipped off by her, goes to the hospital to try and murder the magical hunter, whose name is Rina if anyone actually cares, only to be stopped by the force field from episode 2. Yatsumura then calls out Serena for being just a psychotic asshole, saying that nothing would have happened to her if she'd been less of a murderous psychopath, which she just shrugs off and carries on. A rather mediocre fight scene ensues, in which Aya attempts to reason with the girl who's been trying to kill her and just ends up crying a bunch instead, but saves her at the last second when the building collapses. Our heroines then get taken to a hospital where they are loomed over by a girl with a box cutter. Although, after the OP, it is revealed that the white-haired lolly is actually another magical girl, and the box cutter is her stick, that heals people if you self-harm and feed them your blood. Ah shit, the EQ's on fire again. Nijimi then falls in love with Accelerator to get back at Aya for stopping her killing the hunter. This rather annoys her stalker, but he's not actually relevant yet. Now healed, the hunter wakes up and they are shown a new sight by the Zack scoffing lolly, who wants them all to team up. She explains that the admins need sticks charged with negative energy, like Misfortune, because they really wish they were in Madoka Magica. The site admins, though, take a bit more of a direct route than the incubators and start straight up murdering unnamed magical girls. The girls formulate a new plan, which is to capture a site admin, a task made more difficult by the loss of their sticks in the building collapse. We are then introduced to 4 new magical girls, well, 3 magical girls and 1 magical trap. Nijimi also agrees to help again, but still really wants to murder the magical hunter. This would not be too much of a problem if she didn't immediately transfer to their class. So Nijimi gets tackled and her pantsuit stolen in a scene straight out of an ecchi comedy, adding tonal whiplash to the show's already laundry list of issues. The new magical sticks are then introduced as a flying broomstick, a sharp sword, the ability to physically enhance abilities, and mind control and telepathy. Now that we've hit episode 8, Nijimi's stalker finally gets to be relevant, and by relevant I mean try and kill Aya's brother for dating Nijimi, only for him to have her panties and tell him to commit not alive. The girls have a beach episode and do some other gay shit, it's not really important. Short episode. Once they're done with that, they go to relax, and Nijimi tries to get her pantsuit back off Accelerator, only for him to be about to tell her to also commit not alive, only to be stopped by Boy Pussy using mind control on one of the other girls. This goes badly and he gets a swanky new piercing for his trouble, right through the chest. And finally, after 9 episodes, Aya actually takes some responsibility and acts without needing to be forced by others. And what's her big moment? Cutting herself with the lolly's box cutter. At least you're trying, Accelerator then breaks in and paralyzes all of them, except Nijimi, who is able to be freed from the mind control using other mind control. She then fucks up the rescue and just bum rushes brother and gets katana'd for her trouble. However, with the help of a tragic backstory flashback, she's able to gouge out Aya's brother's voice box with a broken bottle. Someone then smoke bombs the place and makes off with the brother, panties and all. As Nichimin lays dying on the floor, you may have noticed that despite all its edge, and discounting the stalker who died in episode 9, and really why would you count him for anything, no one has actually died since episode 1. Some people have got close, yes, but no one's actually died. A lot of moping and looking sad later, the crew go to attend Nichimin's funeral. That is, except Aya, who turns out late and just gats them without a word. This is revealed to be because she had met up with Serena, who knew the funeral would be bombed and wanted to team up with them against the site admins. Now, for those of you who've been paying close attention, you may have noticed that this show has some subtle hints that it really wants to be Madoka. But there is another it more closely rips off, but I just can't put my finger on it. What other show has a group of people provided with magical devices by a supernatural entity and in which the two main characters are attacked by an eccentric villain who they permanently scar only for them then to team up later on to fight that supernatural entity? I just can't work it out. It's Ninth from Nikki. Except Ninth was a terrorist and is somehow more sane than Serena. There are other things stolen from other shows as well, like having one magical girl that's not actually a girl from Magical Girl Raising Project. Really? You're stealing from that show? It was almost as bad as this one. After some more moping, the others start their assault on the site admins. After initially going well, they start having issues, namely because Yatsumura can't use her power again without dying, as otherwise it would have been way too easy. But after some fight, they actually managed to disable one, thus revealing the amazing twist that the admins were previous magical stick users all along, and also robots, creating a strange chicken and egg situation. But while they stand there stunned, the main admin comes along and tries to kill Ninth with literal finger guns. And of course, Yatsumura's phone gets destroyed because the plot demands it. As such, she gets gunned down like a Detroit drive-by, but gets a good hit on the admin while she is dying. This goes on for a while. She dies, more whining, blah blah blah. Ah, there we go, the plot. The site admins want to make her into one of them. Aya then yeets away her friends, wanting to die along with her GF, only for her to resurrect and attack Aya, as she needs more negative energy to properly digivolve into a system administrator. Samurai Girl, who I couldn't be bothered to actually learn her name, Raiden chops an admin in half, and through the power of rain, Yatsumura regains her senses. Then, through the power of love, they both gain their powers back, and finally we're back to the flash forward in episode 1, where they decide to use their remaining life to hunt down other site admins. And that's it. It's finally over, with just one more quick shot to show the brother in the detective's rape dungeon. The show finally and mercifully ends. Whew. Christ, that show was bad on a first watch and it only got worse on the second I did for this review. But if you're really thinking about watching the show, here's my advice. Don't.